Well, the day has come. It's time for this guy who has never got a lesson in his life to go and get my swing evaluated. To get some coaching, to see where I can improve, and this will be quite interesting. I've never had my swing looked at and evaluated. Let me know what you think of this video. Also, as always, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing this content out there. Obviously, just an amateur golfer playing amateur golf, and wanted to give you an inside look at the things that help me out. But my whole hope is that the things that I work on and the things that I learn for myself can help you out as well. Some very basic, easy things that can help you enjoy the game a little bit more. So, with that said, let's go get measured at Golf Tech. All right, here we are. I don't think it's a coincidence they have a rehab center right next to the golf store.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Animal.
Should have probably stretched beforehand. There's 3 good ones.
So what we're gonna do now is just kind of go through your swing,
Yeah.
from start to finish from both camera angles, and we'll compare you to a tour player.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So we're doing it simply because I want you to have good technique. So Golf Tech, the T stands for technique,
Right?
the E for conditioning, or for equipment, and C for conditioning. So I want to make sure your technique is good. So let's compare you to the best players in the world.
Sure.
So setup wise, you're really good. I don't think I would adjust anything from the side angle here.
Sure.
Let's draw a couple swing plane lines through here. One goes through the shaft of the club, and then there's one right off the right elbow here.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the start.
Yeah,
That's the start of some issues on takeaway. You'll see a lot of the tour players will be hands in, club out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably 90-95% of them look like this.
Yeah.
You're going hands out, club in, throws your hands a little high on your takeaway. You can see that his hands are on that bottom line here.
Uh-huh.
Your hands would be more towards the top line.
Yeah.
So then you get to here, flatten it out. So, probably just looking at the top, a lot of hip tilt, a lot of your left hip going down.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look from the front, we'll be able to see that better from the front angle, but
Okay.
then coming down to hit, hands and club go back in between the slot.
Yep.
Your club is out.
Sure. Okay.
So that's the path, the bad path that we talked about. Your hands are outside the 2 swing plane lines, and your club's outside the line.
Sure.
Coming down on plane. Good hip turn. Let's see what your turn. Yeah, you can. So the tour players, we know at this point, this is the halfway down point, are about 20 degrees open with their hips.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably 5 to 10. So
Sure.
trying to get your body to hit the ball a little bit more, not so much arms and hands.
Sure.
And then you can see that zooming in here, zooming in there, you can see you're bringing the heel in first, right?
Yeah.
So you could do one of 2 things here with this. You can go this, you're going to have to go this way. So you pull it back inwards,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just swing back out and then you're going to hit it directly off the heel. So you're going to pull back in, and when you pull back in, that's when you can get the pull to the left.
Okay.
Or the ball spinning to the right. It's putting that side spin on the ball.
Yeah.
So let's look here. You kind of pulled it back in, so you pulled that one essentially, but usually with the longer club, it's going to lead to more of a cut or a left to right ball flight.
Yep. Yep.
So backing out, hip turn's okay there.
Could be better.
Could be a little better. I
Sure.
mean, and then it's definitely a different. So your hands, his hands are in, his club is out.
Mm-hmm.
Your hands,
My hands are
out,
out,
which is weird for a guy that comes outside in, and then your club is in. So you're, and then you have a high exit, which is really weird to me. But you got
sure.
We'll fix some of that stuff today. I mean, look at your foot.
Yeah.
You know, you're fighting it like the whole way. You're up on your toes. There on the left toe as well. You can see him. He's back on his heel.
Yep. All right.
So that's a lot, I know, but
sure.
I don't expect you to change it all at once. I just want to get you just kind of talking about the roadmap of what we're going to work on. So
yeah. All
right, so we'll look from this side, and then we'll go. And then we'll start working on some things here. So setup-wise, it looks okay. Yeah, it does look like probably. Let's put the line straight up. Like you get a little more tilt back behind the ball with your head, but you know, tour players tilt their right shoulder 10 degrees lower than their left at address, and you're pretty level there. So coming back, good extension. Let's put the sway lines up there. So here's your sway lines.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the top here, and so a little bit of kick out of that hip this way, and then a lot of that left hip going downwards.
Yeah.
He's going to stay leftward and pretty level with his hips. They'll still be left hip down, but not as much as yours.
Sure.
So then coming down to hit, let's see. Is your head moving forward there? Head moves first, head forward first. You're trying to get back, and then it goes backwards. A lot of movement going forward there, though. A lot of sway. He's going to keep his head pretty still. He gets off this back line, but not like you.
Sure, yeah.
You probably have too much sway through the ball there.
Sure.
There's some power with your legs, but man, that is a lot of forward action there. There, look at that.
Yeah.
That's no post. Definitely a lot of C. You have back issues?
Yeah, actually I do.
That might have something to do with it. We got to get you posting. Probably what we'll work on first today is a little out of order, but I think I don't want you to get hurt, so we'll work on this probably a little bit more, what's going on as you come through there.
Sure.
I mean, you look at that, that is a lot of torque on your lower body.
Sure.
And a lot of torque on your back there. So then you get to here, you finish through, hip is forward of the line, up straight up from your left foot.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. I mean, it's really hard to
do.
So let's work on that a little bit and just try to get you not swaying as much. So let's try a couple. So I'm just going to take this and put it on your left hip.
Okay.
So there's hip sway. Hip sway is how far your hips are moving away from your start line, forward and backwards. So when you come forward, you're swaying your hips pretty far forward from where you started. So we're going to work on just getting some rotation around there. So we're going to, once you bump this fan, once this left hip hits it, you're going to take your right hip and take it towards the target.
Okay.
We're not going to keep swaying outside that line. So set up for me. We'll do one without a ball here first, just so you get the feel of how to do it.
Sure.
So go ahead and set up. So I'm going to put that right on. So there is some space here, probably 3 inches from your left hip.
Yeah.
So once you get to that, rotate around, take your right hip and pull it forward. So back, move forward, and then around.
Ooh.
Good. Obviously very awkward.
Yeah.
That's why I had you do without a ball first. Good. So this is really, really cool, by the way, the big difference that we're going to make here. Yeah, you might want to get this one. This is going to be
right.
So it's a swing fan on your left hip. If you're outside on the range, you can use one of these sticks. And we talked about putting it like 2 to 3 inches away from your left hip, right?
Yep.
When you come back here, this is going to be awesome. Watch the difference in your path. So here's your before, and we weren't even talking about path, but it changed your path working on this. So here's your before. Path and hands are out. Here's your after. Club's on plane. It stays on plane. Kind of gets on that bottom plane right at the last second.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is different exit point, right?
Yeah.
High hand finish there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the hands are going off the left shoulder like they should.
Sure.
And then the club's kind of exiting off the left shoulder like it should instead of up off the neckline.
Yeah.
From the front, we put the line here and here like we did earlier. Here and here. And you want to have some motion forward. You have to.
Right.
I mean, you got to be moving out of your own way.
Right.
But we don't want to, we got to watch out how much you're moving. So there's a lot more rotation there now.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your left knee here compared to your left knee there.
Yeah. That one's, yeah, the left one's kicking out. Yep.
Yeah, and there's not the bowling slide going on.
Right.
Or you don't really need to bowl slide, right, like you needed to before.
Right.
We probably should work on getting back to that left heel as much as you can so there's no spin right there. But
Sure.
So I want you to do some swings. 3 inches here. And then what I want you to do is bump and turn, and you're going to actually stop on the follow-through position when you get to here. When you stop, let's look and make sure that your weight is more towards your back heel, and make sure that your left knee is straightened. So it should look more just like this.
Oh.
Good. That's right. Good.
And I'm just,
So
I want to be
follow-
feeling more rotation, right?
Yeah, and when you follow through there, you know, that foot's kind of balanced. There's no slide. There's no lift of the left heel. And good. Awesome job. Go ahead and set up.
Okay.
So we're going to put this here. And we're going to do... Now we got everything in. Go ahead and set up.
Okay.
And we're going to put this over here. So this is for path.
Okay.
And that's for the bowling slide. That's for the
Oh, okay.
foot going that way.
So just make sure it
So
stays there.
Yeah, that foot should just go up, not slide that. If you slide, then you're going to move that
Okay.
stick. So.
Sure.
Good. Good job. So I feel like when you're out on the range, you need to have some kind of feedback. So that gives you the feedback to let you know if you slid. That one on the ground gives you feedback for slide as well with your right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one on the outside is to help you there with path.
Now is that angled at all? Just slight or just something there?
Yeah, I'll usually put it like even with the ball. So about a hand length back.
Okay.
And kind of even, or just so we know that you have to come in from the inside.
Okay.
Quadrant. So if you hit it, gives you the feedback. You probably came outside the in, and you're going to hit some off the middle of the golf club.
Sure.
Good job. Good. All right, so the first thing we'll move will be this guy here,
Okay.
and try to see if we can do it without the fan, swing fan. Good job. That's really good. So he's like really keeps that club inside his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And just has a bunch of rotation there. So here's what you look like on your downswing. Halfway down point, that's what he looks like. And I know we're just doing half swings. But
Right.
obviously that's really pulling that left hip back and keeping the butt back. And I mean, it definitely looks better with the way you're exiting there for sure.
Right. Compared to
I mean, it's not up, you know.
how I started.
Good job. That was actually toey.
Yeah.
A big difference there, man. So you did hold it better. Good job. Oh. A lot different look to your swing too, man. It looks a little more together. It doesn't
Sure.
look
Yeah.
inside out too. So much better. Shot efficiency went up 1.31.
Yeah.
So you actually almost have you have pretty close ball speed from where you started in here with, but we're only taking half swings at it.
Right.
Launch angle's better. This is better too because I think you were 32 with their loft. Now you're 29.
Sure.
And obviously, much better on the contact. Still a little bit off the toe, but.
That was Healy.
So yeah, we're towards. So when we post, like when you get to that knee and it's like a post into a ground.
Yeah.
When you get to that left side and you post up, it pulls your left hip back.
Sure.
And that'll allow you not to have that sway with that knee coming in. So once it posts, it brings you back this way, and then your weight won't be on your toes so much.
Sure.
Let's try it again.
So feel like I'm coming into my hip.
Into your left side.
Yeah.
I mean, you did a better job there, no doubt about it, but it's still got a little bit of that.
I think that's the biggest movement. Like just once I get here, just to feel.
Good.
I mean, you know, just don't want to spend 40.
So go probably what you would consider would be 50% power essentially. So you know you're not going hard at it because you can't. If you try to swing full and you can't do it full,
Right. So just okay.
we got to work halfway and then work our way up to the full swings.
Yeah.
Just easy swing it. Just try to get that feel of how to do it. Get to the left side, straighten that knee up. Good. Good. You know not so much sway outside that line if we draw that line up from the inside of your left foot.
Right.
So definitely looks better there. You don't have so much C in your pack.
Right. No, for sure.
That C's was causing some of the issues. You're kind of just more straight up and down there.
Yeah.
Good job.
It definitely feels different.
Yeah. I think probably, you know, we still want weight shifted to your front side, so when you hit, it's like heels up and in,
Mm-hmm.
weight back to the left. Good. So, yeah, good. So don't get too much baseball-like where
Sure.
we're spinning that out. It's more pushing off of that there and posting up to that left. Yes, that's it right there. That's what you want to feel
Sure.
when you hit this one. Right. I think you're doing a good job of like overdoing it in here,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how you're gonna make the change. And then we probably should dial it back at some point. You know, not overdo it as much. You know, no,
Sure.
you're not trying to get way up there, but I really like your post on that. Good. That's way better. Smoother.
Yeah.
Good. Better. Good job. Yeah, it's looking better. Good.
I feel like it's easier to close it doing that.
Put the right hand on top. Let me show you. So, go ahead, take your left hand off.
Okay.
And go ahead and get your right hand on top there. Okay, so bring it up here. Rotate it. Okay, 90 degrees. Can you turn any more than that? Keep going. Okay, now get your right hand underneath. Now turn it. So you can go almost another 90, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to here, this right hand underneath, I come back. I
Yeah.
can close my face. I can come down and close it.
Right.
My right hand on top. It makes it harder to get that club face shut from that. That's why it's called weak. You weaken up the right hand by putting it on top of the golf club.
So is that better?
Yeah. So straighten your arms out. If you straighten your arms out, so like if you had a hammer in your right hand, right? How would you hammer down with that hammer? Would you hammer it with it underneath or on top? Kind of on top, right? We're hammering this way. So if you hammer down, so we want this angle to be more in a hammer position where it's angled backwards. Good, that's it.
Like that way?
Good, yep. And then the crease goes towards your right shoulder. So we had a line drawn straight up and go towards your right. That's good. And you shouldn't be able to see any of your left thumb because your right hand's on top of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think when I'm equating the feel of keeping that elbow down,
Yeah.
I equate that to, I think my body just kind of naturally stops it.
Yeah. I think the more that we can do
Feet
when I
work.
hold the club, the more that we can bring it back to me, the more that we can come down and keep that going, the less the club face is going to shut.
Right.
Like look at that
Right.
position. That's where we want to be. The more that you come down and we have it out away from your body here, and we're coming down this way, the more you're going to be able to close it. So. Good job.
Well, it's safe to say I have a lot to work on. That was quite interesting. Good feedback, and it's good feedback, and definitely interesting to see my swing from that point of view. Definitely can understand why my lower back may hurt at times. Yeah, but man, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a struggle to see if I can make those changes work on the course. If I can remember those feelings, those thoughts of posting on my left leg and twisting around where my weight should be at on those swings, which would lead to my arm impact or my arm angles on the way down, keeping my right arm tucked in, and all that stuff. So there's a lot, and it's a lot. Thanks again for sharing this content, for liking, commenting, as always, subscribing. Appreciate that a lot, and I look forward to seeing how these changes will make their way out on the course this coming weekend. Stick around for that. See you later.